You'll see.
What up, Jeff?
Jeff, I'm Sabrina. Nice to meet you face to face.
Nice to meet you. Is Blue Oranges is coming?
Blue Oranges is coming. The man, the myth, the legend.
What up, Blue?
Oh,
Bonjour, ça va? Hey, Jeff, I'm Blue.
Hi, Blue, I'm Jeff. Hi, Blue, I'm Jeff.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Summer?
What up, Blue?
What up, Sabrina?
what's up, brother?
Are we doing this tonight? Or what?
We're doing this tonight.
Doing
All right.
it.
We're doing it. So this is how I have it laid out. Sabrina, let me know your thoughts. This is how I have it normally laid out. I know when you and I were messaging, you wanted to do like an opening statement and a closing statement. So what I have laid out is like, we'll both give an opening statement, and then I have topics for us to support my claims, why I feel you are T-phobic. So I will say the topic, I'll give my, of course, debate, then you'll be able to rebuttal with your debate, and we'll move on to the next topic. Until all topics are exhausted, then we can move on to our closing.
That sounds good to me.
Perfect. And then, of course, we have two mediators here to make sure we don't crash out, get crazy, get wild. 100% okay with that, full-heartedly. So I think this will be a nice, clean debate. Jeff is jeffing, exactly. Jeff is definitely jeffing. So that's how it's going to be for our debate. Again, the topic of the debate, of course, my background says trans debate, but what our topic really is my claims are Sabrina is T-phobic, and there's been multiple different reasons why I came to that conclusion. Sabrina says she is not, so that's what the debate is about. Sabrina, would you like to kick us off with the opening statement from you?
Well, since you're the affirmative party, you go ahead with your claim, and then so the chat knows what I'm opposing. So you go ahead first.
All right, cool. So I'll start here. So transphobia is not just a disagreement, right? It's an act of demeaning, devaluing, or denying someone's identity because we are transgender. When someone tells me as a trans woman that I will never know what it's like to experience womanhood, marriage, or motherhood, I feel that they're not stating a fact. I feel that they are reinforcing a prejudice. I feel that they're saying that womanhood is less valid simply because it's different. To me, that is transphobic. Being a woman is not defined by one experience, not by childbirth, not by marriage, not by any single event. Womanhood is diverse, personal, and deeply human. Many biological women never have children, never marry, or cannot conceive, and their womanhood is never questioned. To deny mine because I am trans is to apply a double standard rooted in bias and not truth. Trans people exist in every culture and thought throughout history. We love, we marry, we raise families, we contribute to our communities, and we live full lives. The idea that trans people can't experience these things comes from misunderstanding, not reality. What transphobia does is strip away empathy and replace it with judgment. At its core, this debate is not about biology or definitions. It's about humanity. I'm not asking anyone to understand every aspect of my experience, only to respect that it's real. Transphobia seeks to erase people like me. Equality asks that we listen, learn, and recognize that every person deserves the same dignity, regardless of how they came into this world.
That it?
Yep, that's it. That's my opening statement.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and address the premise of this debate head on. I've been accused of being transphobic. That's a serious claim and also a false one. When I first met Summer almost a year ago, I had a very deep admiration for her. The way she spoke, the way she conducted herself, her humor, the ability to be kind to people despite the unkind world and the judgment she's faced through life. I enjoyed talking to her, even at a time called her my friend. I would still say to this day I truly loved her back then. Admiration, love, the polar opposite of hate, which is what she's accusing me of. Solely based on the fact of her being transgender, and she's completely disregarding her actions and her flawed character that has led me to my opinion of her to this day. My voicing of the dislike I have for Summer comes from the constant lies that come out of her mouth, the hateful things that she says about people behind the scenes, and then proceeds to come on our platform to preach peace and love. So do I like Summer as a person? No, absolutely not. But is it because she's transgender? That's the question. But again, I'm going to answer it as no. The accusation of me being transphobic isn't built on facts or evidence. It's built on assumption, misunderstanding, and the dangerous habit of labeling anyone who doesn't conform to a certain narrative. The word transphobic implies hatred, fear, discrimination, and prejudice solely based on the fact that they're transgender. I hold none of those things. The comments I've made about Summer has been strictly based on her character and her being an insecure person. Now, what I hold are opinions, standards, and values, and I refuse to apologize for having them. It's far too easy these days to use words like phobic as weapons. It's a way to silence people instead of engaging with what they actually believe in. But labeling someone doesn't make them guilty. It only exposes a lack of real agreement. Again, I have never spoken or acted out of hatred towards transgender individuals based solely on the fact that they are transgender. And if I have, Summer's main job as the affirmative party is to provide the burden of proof and demonstrate the statements I've made in the past is solely because she is transgender. I believe most people, regardless of identity, deserve respect and dignity, the outliers being abusers. Sorry, I lost my spot 1 second.
Yeah, you're okay.
So that belief is the core of who I am as a person. But respect doesn't mean silence, and it doesn't mean I have to surrender my right to think critically or express myself. So tonight, my goal isn't to attack anyone. It's to defend myself from an accusation that's both unfounded and damaging. Being called transphobic without proof isn't just an insult. It's an attempt to destroy credibility and character through emotional manipulation. I will not stand for that. If we want real progress and understanding, it starts with honesty, not with throwing labels at people who dare to speak differently. I'm not transphobic. I'm not hateful. I'm simply unwilling to be bullied into silence. And tonight, I'll show exactly why that matters. Summer, I wish you the best of luck with this debate. And with that, I'll yield my time.
Perfect. All right. So we're going to start off, of course, with everything that I do talk about, Sabrina. It's things that you've actually said to me on TikTok Live or to somebody else, meaning someone that we both used to be friends with, multiple people. So I'm going to go off those base topics. Again, I'm going to give the topic. I'm going to give my debate. Thank you, Nam. And then I'll yield it to you. So on live, you did tell me one day that you'll never be a mother, which is good because you'd be a horrible one. And so that argument is both factually and morally flawed. Parenthood is not defined solely by the ability to give birth. It's defined by the capacity to nurture, protect, and love another human being. If we accept that logic, that only those who can give birth truly, we know that what it's like to have children, then we would also conclude that men can't be real fathers. And that's obviously untrue. Millions of people adopt, step parents, people are guardians. They all experience the full reality of raising and loving children without biological connections. So what that statement really does is attempt to exclude trans women by equating biology with worth. But human connection, empathy, and care aren't limited by anatomy. They're expressions of who we are as people. So when someone says you'll never be able to be a mother, when they actually are saying, I refuse to see your humanity, and that's not a valid argument. That's prejudice disguised as logic. Thank you, Seven Layer Burrito. I yield to you. Yep.
Okay, so in the context of that, I said that after you said, Sabrina, I'm not able to have children. It wasn't but I do concede that there are adoptions, but you just, like you claimed earlier, there are a lot of women out there who will never be married. There are not biological women, out there that will never be married and will never have kids. Just if it can be applied to the norm, it's not going to be applied strictly to you just because you're transphobic, if that makes sense. The only reason why I made that statement is because I was talking about I think somebody else being the parent, and I made comments about like you don't know anything about being a parent, and you made a comment like I'm not able to have children, Sabrina, which is something that you affirmed when we were friends. So I already knew that. Me saying that you'll never be a mother was mainly because you did say I'm not able to have kids, and not solely based on the fact that you are a transgender woman. Because not being a mother and not being a wife is not affirmed to just biological women and men, because it applies to all of them as a whole. If that makes sense. So you can't concede that I was saying it to you just because you were transgender, when women aren't married, some cannot be mothers, some choose not to be mothers, and then some choose not to be married and some can't be married. So that's my rebuttal to what you just said.
Cool. Well, my following topic is hand in hand, because you said both of them at the same time, but I did break them up. I do feel you said it out of malice and hatreds and phobia when you said it to me on that live in a box. The next thing you did say to me is, you'll never know what it's like to be married. You said that hand in hand with having children. That statement completely misunderstands what marriage is. Marriage isn't defined by gender, identity, or anatomy. It's defined by love, partnership, and commitment between two people. It's the ability to know what it's like to be married. It's not dependent on biology, right? Every marriage would look the same if it was. And yet we know that that's not true. We have straight couples, same-sex couples, trans couples, all share the same emotional core of marriage, mutual respect. We share responsibility and love. What my opponent, which is Sabrina, is really saying is that trans people don't deserve to participate in that institution. That's not an argument. It's discrimination dressed up as tradition. Marriage has evolved throughout history. Interracial marriage was once banned. Same-sex marriage was once illegal. And every time society learned that love is not something that's the government or anyone else can gatekeep. So to say trans women can't understand or experience marriage is to ignore that marriage truly is two people committing to love and support one another as equals. That biology is not that. That's humanity.
Summer, you just conceded my point.
I did not concede your point.
You just said that it happens. Marriage, not only, it doesn't happen just with biological women and just biological. It's not solely based on you, on transgenderism. It's based on the population as a whole. I wasn't saying it because you were transgender. I was saying it because I think that you're unmarriable, not marriage material, I should say. Wasn't because you're trans. I'm not applying things to you because you're trans. I'm applying things to you based on your character. I don't see you as a trans person. I see you as a woman. So for you to say that, you would have to think that what I identify you as is something that you're not. When I speak to you as a woman because that's what I believe that you are. So when I speak to you, I say, Summer, you're not able to be married, or you're not able to be married, which was mean, not transphobic, because it does apply to the general population. And you even just admitted that. So by you saying that, you're saying that I solely identify you as a trans woman, when that's not the case. And I degrade you for being a trans woman. No, that wasn't my intention. And I can prove that by saying that it's applied to the general population, not just trans people. Married people, biological women and biological women, in my opinion, some of them don't need to be married and can't get married because they're disgusting people.
So I feel like that's a lot of deflection from you. And my next point is going to be why I feel like it's deflection and why I 100% wholeheartedly believe the things you said was because you're transphobic, not because you're saying it because you feel that I'm not marriage material or I'm not mother material. My next point here was you stated you sit in front of a mirror because you're insecure with your looks. And to give some insight about this, you've kept bringing this up repeatedly on live in different situations. Just to let the chat know, when Sabrina and I once were friends, I opened up to Sabrina about my transition and my body dysmorphia as a trans woman. And I had let her know that in my transition, like many trans people, we do sit in the mirror and we do pick apart our body, what we still feel and see as the gender we were born versus our transition. And then what she started to do was she started to use that against me. That statement is not only dismissive, it's deliberately ignorant. Body dysmorphia is not insecurity, Sabrina. It's a medically recognized condition that many trans people experience when their physical appearance doesn't align with their gender identity. Insecure comes from self-doubt. Dysphoria comes from disconnection. It's not vanity. It's about survival. For many trans people, looking in the mirror isn't about obsession. It's about finding harmony between how we see ourselves and how the world sees us. To reduce that, insecurity is what you say, is to ignore both science and empathy. No one would tell a cancer patient that their treatment is just insecurity. Yet when trans people seek to understand or align with their true selves, it's suddenly open for ridicule. What my opponent is doing isn't offering critique. It's weaponizing misunderstanding to invalidate trans experiences. But trans people's self-awareness and courage to face their reflection every day, despite socially judgment, isn't a weakness, it's strength. So yes, Sabrina, I do look in the mirror, not because I'm insecure, but because I'm becoming, and that process deserves respect, not ridicule. I yield to you.
Okay, Summer, how many people do you think an estimate transgender in the transgender community suffer from body dysmorphia?
I'm sure all trans people do.
10 to 12%, according to the National Institution of Health. 10 to 12%, which is not even close to being normal. I would consider anything maybe over 30% maybe normal behavior. 10 to 12% in the trans community, millions of biological women and men suffer from body dysmorphia. So if it could be applied to the general population, and only 10 to 12% of transphobic people, you cannot make the claim that I said that to you based on the sole fact that you are transphobic or you're transgender, Summer. You can't do it. The context of that, because I believe context is important. Every time I make a statement like that to you, is you have no business judging anyone when you can't yourself look in the mirror without crying. And I think that that is a pretty reasonable statement. And you would probably agree with that as well if you weren't on the receiving end. It's not because, again, because I don't see you as transgender, I see you as a woman. It's not because you're transgender, it's because you're insecure. And that's what I was pointing out. And again, 10 to 12%, it's very different than gender dysmorphia, Summer. Body dysmorphia and gender dysmorphia are very different things. So in that, I mean, that's all I have to say about that. You can't prove that was based on just a transphobic ideology when it applies to millions of biological women and men. Go ahead.
So 87% LGBTQI plus youth reported dissatisfaction with their bodies. 15 to 20% suffer from body dysmorphia. I'm not sure where your statistics came from. I'm not sure how old they are. But what I will say is you did 100% knowing the story that I told you. You did weaponize it to use it against me. About you knowing that I told you something personal about my transition, you knowing you then weaponized to use it on live to change what I'm going through being trans to me being insecure. You did it. You know you did it openly. And I have more facts that as we keep talking about topics is going to prove all the things that you're saying that you're trying to deflect and say it's not transphobia, which really points to you are 100% transphobic. And as we keep going on, we're going to really be able to point this out.
And before we keep going, no personal insults. No personal insults. Let's keep it.
Who made a personal insult?
I was just saying it. Let's keep it nice.
I thought we had been, but okay. But my Summer, my estimate came from the National Institute of Health.
Perfect. I will fact check that.
I got that yesterday. at 3:00.
Was it
I'm
updated
sorry,
in
what was it?
2025?
I didn't look at that. I mean, it's updated. So first it was an AI overview, and then you click on the link and to see where the source came from. So I didn't see, but
What
I do
year
know
was
that
it published?
I do know that there's no statistics on this particular topic, but only estimates. I do know that.
So I can tell you with every trans person that I've met, trans man or woman, we've all suffered from the body dysmorphia with looking in the mirror with the gender we were born versus, of course, what we transition to. But I will double check your facts, but we can move on. Another statement you did make is, of course, me getting on this camera. You get pretty upset that I don't get on the camera. And I did once get on camera last New Year's Eve where I was pretty wasted at a bar, and I turned on my camera for the first time, didn't know what I was doing. Actually, back then it was me, you, Nick, and a panel. And I randomly did it after midnight. And of course, you had nice things to say back then. But then fast forward on a live, you said, take off the makeup. Let's see what you really look like. You had stated that on a live before. And that comment isn't about makeup. It's about control. When someone tells a trans woman to take off the makeup, what you really are saying is, I don't accept your identity unless it fits my narrow definition of womanhood. But makeup isn't a disguise, it's an expression. Biological women wear makeup every day and are never told that they're pretending to be a woman. Yet when a trans woman does the same, suddenly it's seen as a deception. That double standard is rooted in transphobia, that belief that our femininity is artificial, that our womanhood isn't real. Makeup doesn't make someone a woman. Being authentic does. And the courage to live as your true self, especially socially, when society tries to shame you for it, it's the opposite of pretending. It's integrity.
Summer, everything that you're saying can be applied to biological women and men who wear makeup. So any insult that you're saying that I've given you is solely based on the fact that you're transgender? No, you're going to have to prove it. I'm not going to let you get away with that.
Perfect. My next point, I will prove it. The next point that I'm about to touch, I have actual proof. Yes.
Can I just jump in real quick? Are you done with the rebuttal there, Sabrina?
Yes.
About the makeup? Okay, you guys just yield back to each other. It'd make things easier for everybody.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Blue. All right. So my next one, which is one that has physical proof from an actual person that you once were friends with. You have stated to this person that we both know, you had stated that I was trans, and because I'm trans, I have a mental issue. It's a mental illness. I'm sorry. You told someone we both know that me being trans is a mental illness, which was very transphobic, by the way. That claim is factually false and morally offensive. Being transgender is not a mental illness. Every major medical and psychological authority in the world, including the American Psychiatry Association, the American Psychology Association, and the World Health Organization agrees that being trans is a natural variation of human identity, not a disorder. In fact, in 2019, the World Health Organization officially removed gender identity disorder from the list of mental illness. The only condition, of course, sometimes diagnosed in gender dysphoria, and that refers to distress caused by society rejection and the mismatch between a person's body and their identity not identifying itself. To call transness a mental illness isn't just outdated, it's a fact and an act, a deliberate misinformation used to dehumanize. It's the same tactic once used against gay and lesbian people, claiming their existence was a sickness, until science, compassion, and truth proved otherwise. What's truly harmful isn't being trans. It's the stigma, the discrimination, and the violence that trans people face because of beliefs like that my opponent expressed. I
Okay,
yield.
can you show proof of that?
So I did speak with someone we both know that we both were very close with, and
A pathological liar?
she in fact told me that you 100% wholeheartedly said that and worse things about me. And that again, all the things that you have been stating on TikTok Live to show your phobia against trans people and against me, that you also said this in private conversations and text messages with her. I
Okay,
yield.
private text message is perfect. Okay, private text message is perfect.
Sure.
Can you please show me?
I don't have them on me. I didn't have her screenshot and send
Why
them to me.
not? You didn't prepare yourself?
No, I don't need to prepare myself. I am telling you that I don't have to bring her into it, but I'm giving you facts that someone you once were close with, you said transphobic things about me to her. And this was a person that you once were super close with. And again, all of my claims to what you're saying on TikTok Live and what you're stating at all points shows and points to the transphobia that you say and show every day when you come after me about something that we've been talking about.
Okay, so even if I did concede to that, which I don't because I don't remember saying that, but
Sure.
you also don't have proof to it. But even if I were to concede
You also
to
said
that,
it to her mom.
Oh, okay. I had no idea. I didn't know you were there. Again, it's your job to provide burden of truth. Summer, you're relying on a third party. That's hearsay. I can't even believe you just brought that up, honestly. But even if I were to concede to that, which I'm not, but disagreement does not equal discrimination. I yield it back to you.
Disagreement. You have a disagreement about me being trans, that I have mental illness.
No.
That's a disagreement?
No, okay, no, yeah, I'm sorry. So say, even if I did say that, which I didn't because I don't believe that. Again, like you just said, every point that you just made in the previous statement, I completely agree with. I don't think that it's a mental illness. I think that you were born in the wrong body. That's what I genuinely believe. But even if I were to say, and there are people out there that do agree that it's a mental illness. Me personally, no, but just to concede the basis that it does, that's a disagreement. That doesn't equal discrimination. Disagreements don't equal discrimination. If it does, you're going to have to demonstrate, Summer, how disagreement equals hate, how disagreement equals I want your rights taken away. You're going to have to demonstrate how disagreeing makes me scared of you. Demonstrate it.
You demonstrate it every day that you go live and you talk about me and you bring
That's not good enough.
You demonstrate it every day. It is good enough. Sabrina, you've showed you're transphobic. I've given you examples of transphobia. We've talked about it. Sabrina, do you know the difference between sex and gender? Do you know the difference between sex and gender?
Sex is something that you biologically were born with.
Are we moving on to the next point? Is that what we're doing? Officially?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Blue.
Moving on to the next one. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Blue. Sex is something that you were born with biologically. Women, XX chromosomes. Men, XY chromosomes. Intersex, XXX, XXY. I don't know. I think so. Gender is something that you identify as.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, sex is a mix of biological traits. Gender is who you are socially and personally, right? How you live, how you identify, how you're recognized to the world. 100%. You got that wholeheartedly correct. Okay. Do you feel trans rights are human rights?
Yes.
You do. Tell me more about that, if you don't mind.
I would like to stick on the premise of the fact that I'm transphobic. I don't really want to have a conversation with somebody who's called me racist and transphobic for the past few months. I'd rather just stay on the topic of me being transphobic.
Okay, so you're bringing race into this.
You guys know.
You're bringing race into this.
Everybody know we're shifting out of the debate mode. I'm as a moderator, I'm just making all the parties aware we have shifted away from the typical model. So if you guys agree to do that,
I know that. Yeah, I know that. You're right.
Well, I just know. I mean, if you guys, if you don't want me to say anything, I won't say anything. I'm just here to moderate and we have shifted together collectively out of the debate mode.
I agree with that.
I agree.
All right,
Go
Sabrina
ahead.
and Blue, thank you. Jeff, thank you. Sorry, we have gone. All right, Sabrina, That's the topics I have. Do you want to move to our conclusions?
Sure.
Unless you had something that you wanted to speak on.
No. I think ultimately all your points are just everything that I've done to offend you. You've just put it as being transphobic when I'm really commenting on your character. And again, it applies to everybody, not just every point that you made, Summer, applies to biological women and men, not just transgender people, just solely because you are transgender. You did not demonstrate at all that I said those things to you purely because you are transgender.
Do you want to counter back with that, and then you guys can move to concluding statements?
My concluding statements will tell you everything to wrap everything up. So no, I yield to the conclusion.
All right. Do you yield to the conclusion, Sabrina?
Yeah, I do.
All right, go ahead,
Welcome
Sabrina.
to the conclusion.
Do you want me to go? You want to go first?
You can go ahead, Summer.
All right. And I hope you felt respected this whole time. I hope you've seen that I've been keeping it pretty cordial and peaceful. Mm-hmm. Believe me, I had to let you know in our messages that I would, and I wanted to make sure you seen that I would keep my promise. With my conclusion of why my opponent is transphobic, in every statement my opponent has made, whether claiming I'll never know what it's to be like to have children, to be married, or twisting my experience with my body dysmorphia into insecurity, there's a common thread, an attempt to deny my humanity because I am a trans woman. My opponent's statements about removing my makeup isn't a critique. It's an attempt to strip away my dignity. It assumes that without makeup, I lose my identity, as if womanhood can be erased by one wipe of a cloth. But that belief doesn't come from reason, it comes from prejudice. My opponent claimed that being trans is a mental illness, and it isn't based on evidence, it's based on bias. It's a pathological identity to just justify an exclusion. It says you don't belong under these guides of concern. That's not science, that's stigma. These aren't neutral opinions. They are rooted in belief that trans people are somehow less real, less capable, and less deserving of the same human experiences as anyone else. That is the very definition of transphobia. Prejudice directed at transgender people based on who we are. When someone insists that only biology defines parenthood, they erase every adoptive or step parent. When they say a trans woman can't understand marriage, they ignore that love and partnership are human, not gendered. And when they mock body dysmorphia, they turn a recognized medical reality into a tool of humiliation. Transphobia isn't always shouted. Sometimes it hides behind claims of truth or biology. But when those claims consistently devalue, exclude, or mock trans people, it stops being an opinion and it becomes discrimination. My opponent's arguments don't define tradition or logic. They define a system that tells people like me that no matter how much we love, commit, or care, will never be enough. That's not just wrong, it's transphobic. And the truth is this. Trans people are not asking for special treatment, Sabrina. We're asking for equal dignity, to live, to love, and to be seen as a full human. If my opponent cannot realize that, it says nothing about the validity of trans life and everything about the prejudice behind her words and her actions. I yield.
At the end of the day, the debate was never about hate. It was about honesty. The claim that I'm transphobic has been thrown around without a shred of evidence, only feelings. And I've made it clear, I hold no hatred, no fear, and no prejudice toward anyone in this particular community. What I do hold is conviction, the conviction to speak truthfully, to question freely, and to stand by my values even when it's unpopular. That's not phobia, Summer, that's integrity. So I'll leave you with this. If being true to my beliefs and refusing to be silenced earns me a label, then so be it. But it won't make it true because facts do not bend for feelings and character can't be erased by accusation. I'm not transphobic. I'm just simply not afraid to tell the truth. And on that, I yield.
Oh, that's all I had for this debate. And I stand by my claims, and I appreciate you wanting to have this debate and going along with this debate. I feel that I brought to the table everything that you've stated, mostly on TikTok Live, besides the one that I brought in about me being trans as mental illness. I do, Sabrina, I want you to know with my heart of hearts, and this is just in closing with our live, I do with my heart of hearts know that you did say these things because you are phobic. Many people have stated that you were in circles with that you are phobic against people like me. I know that you were weaponizing and attacking me, and you were trying to pass it off and turn it to things like, oh, no, you're just an insecure person, or no, you're just someone that cannot be a marriage material or a mother. You're just trying to deflect those things simply to try to pass off that you're not transphobic. Right? You brought up the fact that I called you racist. I told you that we'd stick to one topic. I didn't touch on that. You broke that guide there because, again, that's something we could have talked on. I didn't talk on that. I respected your rules. I respected it, keeping it on one topic. But again, I do find you T-phobic. That is my opinion on it, right? That is my outlook, what I've seen online, what I've seen and heard you in boxes. That's my opinion on it. And that's what I have to say.
Okay, I understand. Again, I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah, again, I apologize for the racist comment. I was just speaking in general statements like I usually do, just showing that the horrible and egregious things that you've called me. I didn't want to bear too off topic because of the things that you had said about me. But again, you are right. I do apologize for that. But I can wholeheartedly 100% tell you it's not because I'm afraid of you. It's not because I'm scared of you. It's not because I want to take your rights away. It's because I don't like your character as a person. You want to be treated equally, so I'm going to treat you equally. Everything that I say to you, you apply to being transgender when I don't think that that's fair. If it can be spoken as a whole, and it can be applied to the general population, then it can also be applied to you, Summer. That's the definition of equality. I wholeheartedly disagree with you because I know my intentions on that. So at this point, it's still just about feelings, and you didn't provide any evidence of the fact that I am, in fact, transphobic. So in closing, the debate's over.
So let me ask one follow-up question to you. Because you said I did not prove with any of things that I'm talking about, that I did not prove. You did not say any of these things, right? You said it's all feelings. You didn't say anything's out of phobia, right? That's what you stated. So out of all the people, we're coming up to our year, out of all people, what other women on this app have you said the exact same things to when you disliked them or you parted ways from them? What other woman have you said is insecure? Yep.
1 second, I got a puzzle. Repeat that, I'm so sorry.
100%. So you say that it's just based off of my own opinion that you're transphobic, right? You said it's based off of my own opinion. You said it's all in my head that you're not a transphobic person. And you're saying that you're stating these things because I'm just an insecure person. You're stating these things based off to just me as a person, not phobia. So what I'm saying to you is you've had a lot of rough and fallouts with a lot of people on this app. At what point did you say this to any of them? Any of them? What did you say? That they were insecure? Where did you say that they are not marriage material and wouldn't know what it's like to have children? At what point did you call them mentally ill? So I'm asking you, what other person on this app have you said that to other than just me, which proves my point that you are transphobic. And it's not just something you say just because you don't like me as a person. It's something you say to me because you know I'm trans. You do not agree with it. You do not like it. And you don't think like people like me should exist.
No, Summer, I don't think that that's a fair statement. First of all, I have not had a lot of falling out with people on this app. Other than you, I've had Nick and what's her name? Minty. Minty, I called insecure many times because she never turned on her camera and always commented on my looks. I was never friends with Minty, so she was never. You're the one that told me about the mirror situation and crying in front of it. Was that a mean thing to say? Absolutely. Was it transphobic? Absolutely not. Minty, so Minty would be an example. I called her very insecure. I would like to see her turn on her camera. Nick, I think I've said pretty bad things about Nick. but that solely applied to her. The camera. I said, I make the camera comment to you because you don't turn your camera on. Makeup, I mean, Summer, that is a reach. Even for you, that is a reach. And I'm pretty sure I'd said, do it without your filters, not without all the makeup. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I said without the filters. So, and then again, I want to ask you one follow-up statement as well. About a week ago, you called me a coward.
Can I just pause? Let me just pause here, please, Sabrina, before. So we're over the closing statements.
Yes.
Where you agreed to one follow-up question. Summer gave her follow-up question. Are you agreeing to another follow-up question, Summer, from Sabrina?
Yeah, I have no issue with that.
Okay. So follow-up question.
Okay, so a week ago, you called me a coward. And if I'm going to be honest, I honestly don't know where that came from. But using this instance directly, don't you think that you would have a better voice and, I don't know, just overall, people watching you, people following this movement? Don't you think that you would have a better, I guess, show around is the right word? I'm not thinking of a good word right now, but of people, if you were to turn your camera on. You told me you didn't turn your camera on because of your safety. Can you explain to me what turning your camera on has anything, and I say this solely because you comment on my appearance all the time when you're not able to turn on your own camera, but you claim it's because of your safety. I don't believe it's because of your safety. I believe it's because of your insecurity, which I completely understand. And yeah, it's not a nice thing for me to say, but it also doesn't make it not a fact. So how can you call me a coward when you can't even voice your opinion about, and I know you're really passionate about it, about transphobia and what a real woman is, if you can't even turn on your camera? So how am I a coward?
Okay, so first, what I want to start with, and I was just making sure you're finished. First, I want to start with how many other people on this app do you say turn on your camera? Outside of me, how many people? Have you ever said to Blue, turn on your camera? You don't turn on your camera, Blue, because you're insecure, right? Blue's never turned on. I have turned on my camera one drunken night in Vegas, right? I turned on my camera. You say there's filters. No, I was wasted. I've never turned on my camera before. So there was not even filters. But again, you want to say that you're saying this about me because I won't turn on my camera with insecurities. But let me ask you, with someone like Blue who comes on with a background like me, are you telling Blue that he's also insecure because he's not turning on his camera? Are you saying that, or is that just to people like me?
I'm going to answer your question. The question is no. Let me ask you a question.
Wait, please. We're
I want to comment on this, though. I want to comment on this, Blue.
Are you guys okay with this dialogue? Because we're out of frame now.
Yeah,
just
we're almost
everybody
done.
know.
Yeah. We're almost done. Thank you. I do want to address this, though. So the answer to your question is no, Summer, no. But my answer to, I'm going to ask you a question, and that is, when has Blue commented on my looks?
So I've never commented physically on your looks, Sabrina. I just only commented on your dentures.
I don't chat. That's a lie. I don't chat. More lies.
I'm just saying I've never commented on your looks except the dentures. That's the only thing. Actually, Sabrina, I actually find you actually pretty. I've always said that to you. So I don't diminish your looks. I just talk about your dentures. That's all I talk about. So that's not really coming for your looks. It's coming for your teeth, not your looks, girl. Like, that's different. I actually do think you're a pretty person.
Dentures, Summer. I don't have dentures. Listen.
I digress.
Well, I don't have denture. I'm so sick of you. I don't have denture. That's how egregious. Look. Oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. You see, you trigger me, Summer. So, I will say to you, I think that you are very. Oh, come on.
Sorry. That was funny. You make me cry.
I will say that thank you for the compliment. I do I personally think that you are a beautiful woman as well. Thank you for asking me for this debate. Sorry it's gotten so ugly. Hopefully we can move forward and at least be cordial and just concede that we're going to be in the same community, all right?
Sabrina, I hope you have a great night. Thanks for debating us.
You as well.
And
Good night.
if I may
Blue,
just
thank you for
interject
being here too. Yeah.
You're welcome. I just want to interject a personal opinion. You both have come a long way since the great panel wars of 2024 and handling.
Blue, you say that about all of us.
Well, because you all have.
I know.
I mean, I didn't know what the hell was going to happen tonight. I was just buckled up, ready for a ride. So I just want to recognize both of you. You've got.
Yeah, I kept my word. We had conversations in DMs, and I said, "Listen, we don't got to crash out. We don't got to be chaotic. We can speak. We can have a debate." And yeah, I meant it. Now, don't get me wrong. On the debate side, of course, on my main, these debates are a lot crazier. But again, this is a different stance of a debate versus the side of I'm only on. So I thought it was very respectful.
I appreciate that. Thank you again. I hope you have a good night.
Hey, you too.
Nice to meet you, Jeff.
Nice to meet you guys.
Good night. Thank you, Jeff.
Of course. I didn't do much. Good job there, y'all.
You did great. Thank you for being here for summer. You did great. You did well enough.
Of course.
Blue, thank you. Last minute coming through. Thank you for that. Wait, he just left.
All right, everyone. That was the debate. What do you guys thoughts? What's the thoughts? What's the feelings? What do you think? I try to keep it calm, cool, collective, respectful. What do you guys think? You think that she proved her case that she's not transphobic, or do you think that she deflected and just made up excuses? What's your thoughts? What is your thoughts? Jeff, I love Jeff. She's classic transphobe. I'm just, honestly, I think she for sure got dentures, deflected. She's a bigot. Nope. I don't think that that Sabrina made her case that she wasn't transphobic. I definitely don't. I heard a lot of deflection, and of course, a lot of just kind of put it on. It's me as a person, not necessarily me as a trans person, but I do believe everything that she's used against me was weaponizing that I am. She's used against me was weaponizing that I am trans. I do believe Serena is transphobic. That debate did not change my mind. I still think she is a transphobic person. However, in all realness, we have changed the direction of our lives, and we're on the debate side and the trans side, so I don't really have much interaction with her anymore anyways. But Nick, what was your thoughts, girl?
You did great. You did. I mean, I already talked to you about this. You've come so far, like if you compare last year to now, and I am very proud of you. But yeah, that on her end it really made me pretty disappointed and sad, honestly, because I mean, you don't see her making those insults and digs at people like other women. She doesn't, you know what I mean? So yeah. Make it make sense, and no, I'm not a liar. That's not something I would make up about her comment about the mental illness in conjunction with being transgender. And she did voice that to my mom as well, and which is it's sad. It is. And it doesn't make me feel good to have to repeat it to you because I don't want you hurt. But hey, you know what? Fair is fair. Right is right. Wrong is wrong. And that's coming from her ex-best friend. So, And
it's just wild to me too with the story. With the story I told her in privacy, because I was trying to help her and educate her on trans people. And when I told her the story that in a transition, me as a trans woman specifically, I do suffer from body dysmorphia, and I explained it in detail. And I got emotional, and I did state that, there are times even still to this day, with no matter how many surgeries I've had or how far I've come in my transition, that I will sit in the mirror and I will pick apart the pieces of my body that still I see through my eyes as a biological male versus the trans woman that I am. I told her this heartfelt story. And then she then turned when, of course, we had separated and weaponized that against me as insecurities, which when in reality, I do feel she was weaponizing it in a transphobic way against me. It wasn't about insecurities. It wasn't about woman to woman. She used a personal story against me to weaponize it to further validate the transphobicness that I do believe her to be. You don't just bring that up.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. And yeah, I just want to touch on one other thing. It would have been nice if she could have. I understand people do need to read off things, and I certainly couldn't get up there with my anxiety and how I am. I'm a mess. You all know that. But if she could have gone up there and just spoke from the heart and had a real debate back and forth rather than just reading off a script, I would have personally liked to see that, honestly, because, yeah, some things you do need to go back and look for reference, but to read word for word everything, it becomes disingenuous, in my opinion. So...
Yeah, and Pop said, I'm confused. I thought we weren't focusing on the whole trans community, but that's all she did. Yeah, Pop. Oh, you're welcome, MS.
She was also throwing, digs at you with that. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I think she exemplified phobia. I don't think she proved anything with the debate or with her rebuttals that she wasn't phobic. I kept it respectful. Of course, if we were on my main page having this debate, it wouldn't have been that pleasant, but I was trying to ensure that I can bring up all these points for everyone to hear the things that she has said openly on TikTok Live. And again, they weren't woman to woman. I have been dehumanized by her. I have been labeled as, that's a man, that's not a woman, right? There's many things that I didn't even bring up that she has stated before. But again, I was being respectful in the debate. I brought up some topics that I can speak on. I don't have to come with receipts. It was literally said on TikTok Live. Everyone was there to see it. I pointed out many times, Dizzy has videos. I have videos that are up on the page because I called out the transphobia. So again, I don't think she proved that she wasn't phobic. I think she had her talking points and she was able to keep decorum. She also brought up, me calling her racist, in which I wholeheartedly also think she is. But I did agree to her because she wanted to agree to one topic and only one topic. So I agreed to only speak to one topic. That's why I did not speak on the racism claims whatsoever. And then the part where she stated that I've bashed her looks. I've actually never bashed her looks. I always told her she was a pretty woman, but I do talk about her dentures. And I still stay on that denture. She did show us her top teeth, but she did not show us her bottom teeth. So I digress.
Goodness.
And I did die hysterically laughing from that. It fucking took me out. Thank you, Deb. It took me out. But I didn't bash her looks whatsoever. I just talked about the dentures. And listen, if she has dentures, that's okay. Just own it, right? I have fake boobs. I own it. Okay? It's okay. Jeff, you did amazing too. You did amazing. I freaking love you. And, she had this... That's okay. You were there. She had this perceived notion that you were going to attack her and you didn't. And you showed exactly what I stated, how you weren't there to attack her or to be unkind. Blue actually was very kind. And, I had no issue with her having someone from her side. Jeff was definitely moral support. I think Jeff did amazing. Jeff, I loved you there with me.
Appreciate you. You did great.
Dizzy, what's your thoughts?
Girl, I am just leaving my friends and I didn't catch any of it, but I fucking recorded it and put it on silent because I didn't want to be disrespectful because I was at my friend's house.
I'm fucking screaming. She's like, I gotta watch this shit later.
Literally right when I fucking left, I got in my car and it was like a separation. I'm like, no! Really? But I mean, I guess it was at I mean, it was an hour long. I don't know, like, so, but yeah.
It felt much shorter. Definitely.
Yeah. And yes, I can't really, I'm in an Uber, so I can't really look at the comments or
I
anything.
keep trying to send gifts to Summer and they keep going to fucking Dizzy.
Oh, yay! Thank you for the gifts. I'm not looking at my phone
It's
right now.
Jeff, Dizzy.
Dizzy, give those back to Summer right now.
Okay,
Dazzling Dizzy.
do anything right now.
A little dazzling. Can I pop? Get a little dazzling Dizzy.
Oh, dazzling.
I'm about to crack open a good old margarita, if you know what I'm saying. I need it with the heart pop. I need it with the boxing gloves.
What are you saying, margaritas?
Girl, you know I love a good margarita. All right, what's everyone's thoughts? Who do you think won the debate? Because, of course, clearly they're going to say they won the debate. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts of the debate?
I think
Even
Jeff
if you don't
won the
think we
debate.
won. Okay, I love that.
Oh, wait, can we
I agree with that. I agree.
Can we do a poll?
We can do a poll.
You know I love a good poll.
Yeah, we can do a poll.
poll.
Listen, I remained respectful, right? I really did. I kept it on topic. I didn't interrupt her. I definitely let her, say her part, and I said my part, and I based my facts off of what she said on TikTok Live. That's where my facts came from. I didn't have to show receipts because it's been said many times on TikTok Live. She did talk about my camera. And again, I openly turned in this last year, I turned my camera on one time. And again, it was last New Year's when I was at a bar with Daylin and my other friends. And I was wasted as hell. And believe me, when I turned on my camera, I never turned it on before. So there I was. And yes, I don't go on camera. I don't need to go on camera. I don't find the need to be on camera when I'm doing T-page related content or debates. And now on the debate side, there's a lot of transphobic people that hate me simply for existing. Let's go, Anita, with the birthday cake. Remember the cake we sent to Zach?
Gosh. I can't believe.
Cake in the chat.
Oh, gosh.
Cake.
Thank you for the whale. Oh my God, the lion. Thank you so much.
The lion. Okay, we do have a poll.
Who gave me the lion?
Oh,
We do have a poll.
Yay.
Top left-hand corner, who won the debate? It says A, Summer, B, Sabrina. So let us know who you think won the debate in the poll, top left-hand corner. Little clipboard with a check. And let us know your thoughts. If you think Sabrina won the debate, it's Sabrina.
When I did peek in there, I mean, I couldn't hear anything, but so she looked like she was like writing things down.
You were the lion, Emily.
Yes.
Emily with the lion.
Reading something.
Yes, Dizzy,
Snickers. Come on.
She was definitely reading her script. And you know what? I'm just gonna say it how it is. She does, and hey, you know what? I did applaud her when we used to do our true crime thing. She would always go to Chat GPT to make a script thing, and yeah, it worked out well. And so I believe that's what she did here. And then I don't know what the note taking was about though. That I'm not sure, but
81.25% said Summer, and 18.75% said Sabrina.
Who the hell is they?
yeah,
I didn't even click on it. But there is another poll. Let's see who won the debate. Summer, Sabrina, Jeff, the dentures. The dentures, Chad, the dentures. And just like when she didn't want to come in our live and she wanted to co-host, I literally had no problem as long as Jeff was able to go live. I said, hey, no issue as long as we can get Jeff in there. She asked for Blue Oranges to be there. I had no issue with that. And I said, sure, not a problem. I think I was very fair. I wasn't trying to make this unfair. I led with facts of what she stated on TikTok Live and to people. So, vote. Top left-hand corner, little clipboard. Who do you think won the debate? Summer, Sabrina, Jeff, the dentures. The dentures.
you were really fair, Summer. You were.
Yeah, I try to be.
You have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have. Seriously, this just goes back to seriously how much growth that you've had in from last year to now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you, truly.
Thank you. I've definitely seen growth in myself. I was a different person when I first started TikTok. always made that clear. Like when we were a 6-person panel, I mean, we spiked up pretty high because of Nick, right? Let's not forget we were all here because of Nick. And when we started a platform, we gained a platform from covering Nick, right? And so that's how we gained it. And we had Nick, and then also, let's not forget Reddit, right? So we had Nick's people, and then we had Reddit. Reddit had already established a following. So shout out to the Reddit. Reddit had established a following. And what Reddit did is they also brought their followings to the TikTok Live, right? So based off of Nick, Reddit, and then when we brought Graceland, we got everyone's platforms onto our platform. So we were getting 5,000 to 6,000 views. So yeah, it was new, it was different. We didn't know how to take it, and some of us took it, better than others. Some of us took it worse. And all we could do is grow and learn from it as we go on.
It was crazy. I think at one point we would do shifts, right? Like, because people had to work, obviously, have kids, whatever. And there was one time I remember we were like, well, how late? Right after we ended one live, we checked it, and it was like 22 hours. Yeah. That we have been on 22 hours, which I'm not saying that proudly.
22 hours.
Yeah, I'm not saying that proudly, by the way.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Mommy's milk. Thank you for the rose.
I mean, we were in it to win it.
We'd go all fucking day. Yeah, we'd go, especially Pat's fucking late night crash outs.
Oh my gosh.
With the heart puffs.
Yeah. It was a time. It really was.
It really was. Yeah, thank you, baby. But yeah, I think there has been growth, and with Sabrina, like when we went in the box with the Violet situation, remember she said I'm a disgusting human and she'd never debate or talk to me. And the next day she messaged me and she said, "Hey, let's debate." And I was like, perfect, right? When I messaged her, I was very respectful. Even if Sabrina is transphobic, I don't have to stoop to a level to be mean or hateful to her. I can still spread that love and kindness, hoping that one day she will also spread that love and kindness.
And here's the thing, like obviously they're like her, quote unquote people are gonna be like, you did great. No, you did great.
Right.
You like, okay, well, just I'm glad everyone, like at least we came to an agreement. I saw Blue up there, so she got her person. Yeah. It was like some fucking, what's it called? What the fuck am I looking for? That C word. Not cunts. There was, I don't know. Cool. I don't know, but not conclusions. I don't know, you guys. But anyway, meeting in the middle. There, like I don't know that word right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks, sweetie.
I'm just going to be biased, even though I didn't hear it.
Yeah, with the cold mind.
So, there you go.
Thank you, Jeff. Exactly, Dizzy. Exactly. Their side's going to say they won. Our side's we're going to say we won. At the end of the day, I compromise. Yeah. At the end of the day, this is what I'm going to say. I brought factual evidence with all of my topics that I covered of what she stated.
I am not. I picked up my phone and I heard I see you comment that.
All right, 40% of the votes say
driving right now, Dalen.
Say Sabrina won 5% of the votes, Jeff 15, the dentures 40%. There's a tie between the dentures and me.
When I get home, though, I'm gonna crack a cold one.
Fucking same. Well, I am home and I'm gonna crack a cold one. Fucking same.
You deserve it. You did really well. Truly.
Yeah, listen, I kept my composure. I said I would. I said I wouldn't crash out. I said I would adhere to some of the rules that she had put on. Right? She did ask me to turn my camera on. I said no. When it comes to my safety, on my main account, I do trans debates 5 nights a week. And my mods can attest and tell you that the amount of hate, the amount of slurs, the amount of chaos that the trans debates bring with people thinking I'm a man and don't like who I am, don't like that I exist. Yeah, I'm not going to come on here and turn on my camera when I'm doing debates. But again, I don't need my camera on. I don't have nothing to prove. I have nothing to prove to nobody. My voice is on here. I'm the voice of the voiceless. I don't need a fucking camera. So, me turning on my camera proves absolutely nothing except for people wanting to clip my face and use it for memes. So, I'm sorry that I'm not going to allow that.
Exactly.
Charlotte to heart me.
It would have made no difference.
Yeah, little independents, the mods. I always tell people this every night. Without the mods, I cannot run this live. So W to all the fucking mods out there. Because let me tell you, they're the ones who do the fucking work because they man and maintain that chat. Any slurs, any racist comments, anything like that, they mute, they block, they get rid of. So W to the mods. The lives never work without the mods. Every mod in here plays a part. We are a team. It is not one person. Again, I couldn't do it without them, and they'll rock with me all night. I'll tell you, they'll rock with me all night. They'll be with me, and it's muchly appreciated. So W the mods.
W mods.
Okay, so sorry, Dizzy. I cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was done. Maybe it's lagging. I just said W mods and then I didn't talk.
Okay, so are you just Summer? Are you doing just debates now?
Yeah, so on my main page, I just do trans debates, and we have a prompt. Here, I'll put the new prompt. I made a new one tonight, too. We have a prompt that will say, are trans women? Of course, we have our mascot. Okay.
You have a mascot?
Yeah, let's show you our mascot.
We don't like our